obviously not a situation anybody wanted in terms of outcome, um, with with the search for that for the parole absconder, Samuel Sterling in Kentwood this week. Can you kind of give me an overview of when MSP is going after somebody who is wanted, especially when they're working in conjunction with MDOC on an absconder? What's kind of the mindset of a team that is working a case and trying to put somebody back in custody?
Right. So in this particular incident involving Mr. Sterling, this was a sixth district fugitive team. So it's a conglomeration of various police agencies, Wyoming and Grand Rapids, Michigan Department of State Police, of course, MDOC, and U.S. Marshals. So it's a group of a team of law enforcement officers from various jurisdictions that come together to look for individuals that are either absconders, parole violators, and they're their fugitive apprehension team is what they are. And they're just out looking for people that should be reincarcerated for whatever reason.
Okay. Um, and when these teams are going after, is there a different mindset going after, well, when you're when a team is moving in to try to take an absconder under arrest compared to a person of interest or a suspect in an active crime situation? Is there a different mindset at all that
Well,
the troopers would have?
well, most of these teams are officers that are not in uniform. For the most part, they're not uniform officers. I mean, when I say that, they have the proper police insignia on their vest and those type things, but they aren't normally, well, I should say almost always, they wouldn't be in a marked patrol unit, but they would be properly identified as law enforcement officers based on what they're wearing.
Okay, so they'd all be easily identifiable outside of their vehicles.
Oh, it's no question about that. Once they get out of their vehicles, they are clearly identifiable to anyone that would observe them.
Okay, and their search for Mr. Sterling brought them to a retail area in the city of Kentwood. He was at a gas station when he was visual. They spotted him and approached. He ran, and where he was hit, and where he was hit by the vehicle was in a parking lot of a Burger King just down the street. Um, is there any specific written out or even unwritten rules of procedure on how to handle a pursuit of a suspect, particularly one who's on foot, and when it's in a high traffic area where there's a number of people, other people walking and other vehicles driving around?
Well, in a case like this, you have unmarked law enforcement vehicles. You have an individual on foot, so it's totally different from the a pursuit policy that would involve a police officer in the vehicle and the suspect in the vehicle. That's not the case here, because it's usually the problem would occur in a situation like that when you have two vehicles, the law enforcement vehicle and the suspect vehicle. The suspect is usually the one that ends up, if it happens, crashing the car, hitting someone, or killing someone. So now we have a situation where we have an experienced law enforcement officer who's trained to drive their vehicle in an emergency pursuit capacity. They get extra training in this. So you don't have to worry about the non-trained individual citizen suspect being in a vehicle, because you have a trained law enforcement officer actually in a vehicle during the pursuit, which happened in this case. So there's really no major policy on that. It really doesn't need to be a policy on something of this nature, because it's kind of hard to predict what individuals are going to do in situations like this. And in this case, there were two police officers two or more that were pursuing the individual on foot, and the one unmarked police car pursuing him, which is the one that actually struck him.
Yeah. So no written out policy. So like making use of a police vehicle to hem in, dissuade a suspect who is fleeing. would be a normal tactic.
Well, this is the situation. You have to look at an automobile, firearm. I mean, all those things could be considered deadly weapons. So the pursuit vehicle, obviously, you would have to at least start with the presumption that he wasn't intending to hit the person. The pursuit vehicle was obviously intending to cut the vehicle off, because obviously if you intend to hit someone with your vehicle, that could land you in some serious charges. So obviously there probably wasn't any intent to hit the individual. It was probably more to cut the individual off, not to hit the person. And unfortunately, however that situation occurred, it was somewhat of, I'm sure, of an accidental type nature. Because the only way you would be able to do that, you would have to be in a situation where you would be able to use deadly force to run someone over. Well, I don't think that's definitely not the case here. So you have to assume that there was no intent to hit Mr. Sterling.
Right, no intent to hurt, but using a vehicle to block a potential exit. Would that be a normal procedure though?
Absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Absolutely, whatever it takes outside of, unfortunately this didn't work out, but that's not an issue that would be of any major concern. It's other than the fact that it needs to be done safely. And when it's not done safely, or some other factors, which we don't know about at this time, and until the investigation is over with, what actually occurred at that last moment, and and why the two collided, the vehicle and Mr. Sterling.
Okay. In terms of the director's statement that was issued yesterday, anything that you thought was notable, unusual about it? Obviously, the director himself is African American, and he did speak to that. Anything that feels unusual about this case compared to other instances of deadly force being used by a police officer?
No, I think what's happened over the years and over time, every time there's an incident such as this, you try your best to be transparent, so that everyone, the community, as well as law enforcement, so that everyone knows, what happened. Any video footage is released, those type things. And you just try to be as transparent as possible, to try to keep the temperament down and keep the temperature down a little bit in these situations, because there's public concern and public interest in these matters. And, I think the director was as well aware of that, as any law enforcement director or officer, chief would be, and make sure you address those things. Nothing's going to be covered up or hidden. These are the circumstances, why the individual ran. It's, it may be obvious, it may not be. And then the police entered into a pursuit in this case, and unfortunately, Mr. Sterling was hit by the vehicle.
I don't know if you fully read up on this. Mr. Sterling's crimes that he was serving time for were felonies, but from what we can understand, they're all considered nonviolent. Fraud involving a stolen debit card, driving offenses, drug offenses. I think the most violent of his convictions was an unarmed robbery that technically he was not serving time for anymore. Would there be any different mindset in terms of the officers in this task force? They're going after him if his felonies were violent versus non-violent?
No, I think, the only thing that would be different is the way, you never know. A person with a non-violent offense versus a violent offense, you never know when someone may be in a situation where I just don't want to go back to prison or to jail, and decide to harm you. So you treat these things as though everyone is considered, somewhat dangerous and armed, because you never know when someone's going to, or how someone's going to react in these situations. But the officers in this particular case, obviously based upon what they were doing, they weren't justified in using deadly force, and I don't think that was their intent anyway. But the level of precaution is the same level of precaution you would take. You don't think stopping someone for speeding 80 miles an hour on the freeway that the person's going to pull out a firearm and shoot you for being pulled over for driving 80 miles an hour. But police officers all throughout this country understand that any traffic type stop of that nature could be a deadly encounter. So you have to approach it in that way, but your response to it is what the officer's response to it is what needs to be looked at more so than anything.
Okay. I mean, the one other, I know he does have a felony firearm charge, but that was
felon in possession of a firearm.
Right. But that was, he had possession of a firearm after being convicted of a felony, but didn't actually use it in the commission of a crime itself. So that was one of our questions. Looking at his background and his history in this was, did that drive the response of the officers in that they knew that he had previously possessed a firearm, and would they be worried about him possessing one then? He, as far as we know, didn't have one on his person at the time of the pursuit. So
I think that police officers are going to always make that assumption that that party could have a firearm, the same as a traffic stop for speeding. So you're always going to be on guard for those things. But I don't think the law enforcement officers in this case pursued him because they weren't pursuing someone that had committed a serious violent offense. He wasn't on the run for murder, armed robbery, home invasion, carjacking, the serious felonies that one would look at. That was not the situation here. So they were just trying to catch him. It's as plain as that. They found him. He took off running. They tried to foot chase. There was a foot chase and there was a vehicle pursuit in an unmarked police unit trying to stop him. There's no question he probably knew that they were police officers. That's not the issue. And I can pretty much rest assured, unless we hear something different, that there was probably no intent on the part of law enforcement for sure to strike him. This is not a situation where deadly force would have been justified by any stretch of the imagination. And the officers knew that and would have known that. So that was obviously not their intent, and we can only wait for the investigation to come out.
Yeah, obviously, investigation is still very early stages. In your mind, would it matter in terms of a prosecutor looking at this case? Would intent matter on a charging decision?
If it were towards the officer? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It would, there would be an intent element. The prosecutor would have to show and would want to show that there was an intent to create great bodily harm or death, which is what occurred. That standard would be extremely difficult to meet. Unless there was some audio somewhere where the officer is saying, I've got him hemmed in and I'm going to hit him. I mean, other than something like that, I can assure you that the intent element would seriously be lacking in a case like this, that the officer intended to strike the individual. So I'm not looking at, like, until the investigation is done, I don't foresee criminal charges unless there was some gross negligence somewhere along the way. So we're going to have to wait on that.
Okay. And just circling back, I know you've already said that there's not really a hard policy in place with a foot pursuit and exactly, what tactics to take and what measures to do at certain times, like there is with a pursuit of a vehicle. But is there any training that is done in particular about pursuits in areas where there's a lot of innocent bystanders?
Yes.
Obviously not knowing if he's armed or not. He hadn't brandished a weapon, but you, as an officer, would still worry about that.
I totally get your question. It makes a lot of sense. The situation is this: no matter what action police officers take, they always are trained and have to consider whether the population, the pursuit, are they doing it in a congested area? Are there other people around? And if so, what factors are you taking to mitigate any damages or to mitigate anyone being injured? So that's always within any policy that whatever it is you do in a pursuit manner, that it be done in a safe manner. But that doesn't mean accidents can't happen, even though you're doing it in a safe manner. So that's always at the top of the list. It does not have to be a policy on that. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's an actual policy that actually puts in the policy, whatever pursuits you do or conduct, it must be done in a safe manner. That's a given. Whether it's in writing or not, that is a given, that officers understand that whatever it is and actions they take, that it must be done in a safe manner with the public's concern and safety in their forethoughts.
Okay. I just had a thought, and now it's escaping me. Friday afternoon. What can I say? We do know that when officers approached to try to take him into custody at the gas station, he was outside of his car. He was filling air in his tires.
Yes.
Do you think that was probably an intentional timing on the part of the task force to try to wait until he was not in a vehicle, not in a position to try to jump in his vehicle, try to prevent a vehicle chase?
I would if they had that option, and like I said, I don't know all the details, but if they had that option, I can guarantee you they would take advantage of it, because they want to put Mr. Sterling in a situation where he can't do harm, and they have a better opportunity to actually apprehend him. And that, in a situation like this, it totally avoids a vehicle chase involving the suspect vehicle. So absolutely. And we don't know too, I just want to add, they may have been following him for hours, waiting for an opportunity to try to apprehend him in the most safe and efficient manner. We don't know that or not. See, they could have been on him for weeks or days and just waiting for the best opportunity to approach him and try to apprehend him. And this may have been what occurred after hours and hours of surveillance.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm out of my questions. If you have anything else you want to add.
No, I only say that because, that's the way it works. I've, just to let you know, from my history, I spent 22 of my 25 years in plain clothes as a detective. And I've sat on surveillance and run surveillance, and you pick the most opportune time to approach individuals that's in the safest manner that you can possibly do in order to accomplish the mission. So